Welcome, my friends of the interwebs. You know, I get at least 2 or 3 PMs every week, which I know is not a ton, but 2 or 3 every week from people who think I may know something. I know it's a shock to me too. But one of the theme of these questions are, what's going on with YouTube? They keep asking me for copyrights, and they want to know if I own this material. They won't let me post it, or they won't let me monetize it, or they've taken it down, blah, blah, blah. And what is the story? And a lot of people are like, dude, I was commenting on somebody's video, and, isn't there a thing called fair use and all this other stuff? Where do we even start? Where do we even start? You know what? Here's the thing. YouTube has always played favorites. YouTube has always applied the law unevenly. Some of us, including me, by the way, this has happened to me. Some of us are held to a different standard than, say, Philip DeFranco. Now, we're actually at Philip DeFranco's channel. Before I even start this, though, I want to go on record as saying I really like Phil. I like what he does. I think he's got skills. I have been subscribed to him on or off, or I should say on and off from the beginning of time. Literally, from the beginning of time. From before he had, what's he got now? 2,115,352 subscribers. And he's coming up on a billion views. 1 billion views. Look, he is, in my opinion, one of the better YouTubers. And I know there are people who will make the argument that YouTube literally handpicked him and put him up on the top. Maybe so, but he had skills. I mean, they didn't handpick a retard and put him up on top. Philip DeFranco brings it. He just does, and he's got several channels. He makes a gazillion dollars. Yeah, he's all that in a bag of chips. So when I go through the rest of this video, and I hope that Philip DeFranco actually sees this, but I highly doubt it. But I just want everybody to know that this is not a hate piece against Philip DeFranco. I'm just going to use him to illustrate in what my opinion is YouTube douchebaggery. YouTube douchebaggery. It's just that simple, and maybe be able to answer some of your questions. But please understand, even though I've been around YouTube since the beginning of time, I don't have all the answers. All I can tell you is this: YouTube is a mess. I know, big shock, huh? It's always been a mess, and it is what it is. It is what it is. I mean, some of us are held to different standards. Some of us they put the brakes on some of our channels where they let some people. I was talking to Scotty DTV the other day. He's a big race guy, big car guy, you know that. I explained to him, I said, because he has a lot of the same issues. And I said, the only thing that I can really say, compare this to, is if you're at MIS, which, Michigan International Speedway, and they allow some people to run full out, wide out, and then they put restrictor plates on other people. And for most of us, we have the restrictor plates. And then so, no big shock that some of these cars that are liable to, or that are able to go full out, just lap us and lap us and lap us and lap us, and end up with, almost 1 billion views. So anyway, let me just go through. Here's the thing about copyright. When they send you a copyright notice, and there's 3 ways that I've noticed that they do this. Either they just take down your video, or for those of you who are YouTube partners, they just don't give you the tab to monetize it, or they do send you a thing saying, look, can you prove to us that you own a copyright? There's like 3 options. I can't remember what they are offhand, but none of the options are click here if you believe this is fair use. Because look, what I do, and a lot of the people who watch my stuff do, we do a lot of political commentary. And, for example, I'll give you an example of one that recently they kind of shafted me on. I had done a video. In fact, none of you got to see it. But I did this over on my Colonel channel, and I did a video where I showed a screenshot of the Los Angeles Times, and they were doing an article on, now my brain just shut down, I have no idea, but they were doing some political article. I'm sure it was some kind of Obama piece or something to that effect. And I had the screenshot, and the voiceover was me in my commentary. It was commentary about that story, which by any stretch of the imagination, should be covered under fair use. I mean, there's just no other way to look at it. You know, when you're doing political commentary about an article that's written by one of the biggest newspapers in the United States, you know, how is that not fair use? And for those of you who don't understand what I'm talking about when I say fair use, just Google it. You know, fair use. There's a clause in the copyright law that allows people to, and this is, I'm going to paraphrase or do this in a nutshell, that allows people to use certain copyrighted material for the purpose of, you know, discussion, learning, commentary, whatever. And there's like a whole list of things where it's appropriate to be able to infringe on somebody's copyright. You know, which I support. I think it was important to have that in the law. I mean, you know, flat out. So anyway, why am I at Philip DeFranco? Of course, you know, here I am infringing on sxephil. And by the way, his channel is actually sxephil. Most people call him sxephil. His real name is Philip DeFranco. He calls it the Philip DeFranco Show. He's got like 4. I don't know how many channels he's got. I know I'd been told that he was one of the very lucky people who Google gave channels to, these producer channels, and apparently they came with an assload of money. Rumor is $1 million. So God bless him. Anyway, so somebody like me gets shot down because I've got a screenshot of the Los Angeles Times article, and I'm actually doing some kind of political commentary regarding what the article was, or what it had to say. And Philip DeFranco, let's go over his stuff here. And Phil, if you ever do watch this is not a hit piece on you, brother. I really do dig what you do. And I know that you're a big supporter. Well, you're a supporter. I don't know how big you're a supporter. You're a supporter of the YouTube community. Okay, let's see here. So here we are with his uploads for this channel. He's getting 942 uploads that he still has up. I don't know how many he's made over his career on this channel, but I would say a lot. So you can see, here's what he looks like here, by the way. Under this dude on the left, right here, that's Phil. This sexy chick here, I don't know, but I'm guessing it's not his girlfriend. In fact, I know it's not his girlfriend. Some model chick, I can't make her out. Over here, Hope Solo, don't know who this chick is. I'm guessing this photo of this chick and this photo of this chick are probably copyrighted. This one here, this chick here, I watched this video today. It's actually kind of interesting. This is the chick that was in Spy Kids, all grown up, and he's got a bunch of photos of her in his video. You know, I'm gonna be a little tongue-in-cheek here. Obviously, if Philip DeFranco was the photographer and he owns these photos, not. But, you know, he shows the photos, and apparently YouTube doesn't have an issue with that. I guarantee you he doesn't own the photos. I'm guaranteeing you he didn't take the photos, but he took them for his video, which he did commentary on it. I don't personally have an issue with it. I think it comes under fair use. But apparently Philip DeFranco is allowed to come under the fair use clause, and the rest of us are not. And that's kind of the problem. All right, and we shall continue. By the way, that chick from Spy Kids, enormous rack. Just saying. I mean, just saying. I'm not trying to sexualize the situation, but, you know, felt the need to say that. Kristen Stewart, from the Twilight series, she apparently she's like 21, 22 years old, and she was doing her 40-some-year-old director. God bless him. Problem was he was married with kids. That was the problem. And she has a boyfriend. Whatever. This isn't TMZ. Point is, I'm guessing, well, you know, let me get this focused there. I'm guessing that Philip DeFranco did not take this picture of Kristen Stewart, actress. But it's the thumbnail on this video that he has 1,401,349 views, of which he has monetized. Okay? All right. Let's see here. I don't know who this chick is. Was it Minka Kelly? I don't know. She did a sex tape. Whoever she is, I'll have to watch that video. Yeah, I haven't heard of any starlet doing any sex tapes, but I will be checking that out to find out. Okay, let's see here. Spring Break Girls, don't know who they are, but I'm guessing that Philip DeFranco did not take those photos. I don't know who this chick is, but I'm guessing, yeah. Dominatrix Sophia? Okay, whatever. Interesting. So, oh, look, Justin Bieber. I'm guessing that Philip DeFranco wasn't hanging out with the Beeb and taking photos of Justin Bieber. So, here's my point. That's clearly a copyrighted photo. You know, I mean, clearly a copyrighted photo. Now, if he's got a secret to get around YouTube's copyright police, I'd like to know about it. Okay. Oh, here's a, this is important. Here's a picture of Obama. President Obama. I did a video on my Colonel channel where it was the video of Richard Nixon, a video that he made from the White House, which is the People's House. Okay, back when he was announcing that he was going to resign the presidency of the United States effective blah blah blah. I think immediately. I don't remember now. YouTube would not let me monetize that because I did not own the copyright to the video. How do you like those apples? First of all, it was commentary on Richard Nixon resigning and all this other good stuff, political stuff. You know, and it seems to me that video belongs to everybody. It seems to me that that's in the public domain, but not according to the YouTube copyright police. You know. However, Philip DeFranco gets to use President Barack Obama's photo as a thumbnail. Awesome. Okay, let's see here. Orioles are gay. Jew-hating Elmo, Kate Upton. I love me some Kate Upton. Super Secret Sexy Sunday, Fast and Furious Obama. So we got Obama, and that's what's his name? I can't think of his name offhand. Of course, Kate Upton, everybody knows, hot smoking supermodel. Oh, Rodney King, God rest his soul. He just passed away, if you did not know. Found dead in his swimming pool. I'm waiting for the toxicology reports, but I will withhold judgment on how he died. Although, well, anyway. Yeah, I mean, I guess he's dead, so... But then Richard Nixon was dead. I don't know. Okay, let's see here. Let's go on to page 2, just for shits and grins. Chris Brown. Yeah, middle picture here. Chris Brown, if you don't know him, he's like a R&B singer, and he used to go out with this chick named Rihanna, who is kind of an R&B singer, and his claim to fame is that he beat the snot out of her and left her for dead on the side of the road. But ironically, women around the world still love him. You know, whatever. I'm sure he's not real happy about having his photo, but you know it is. And I'm guessing that Philip DeFranco wasn't standing there with his nifty DSLR camera taking that photo, if you know what I'm saying. Euro Cup Riot. All right. Oh, look, Snooki, everybody's favorite drunken weeblo. Well, I shouldn't call her weeblo, because weeblos wobble, but they don't fall down, whereas Snooki actually falls down. Okay, let's see here. Oh, I don't know who this chick is. Juliet Starling. Who's Juliet Starling? Let me know in the comment section, because I tell you what, she's looking good. Oh, another Justin Bieber. Yeah, buddy. Okay, a bunch of sexy nuns, and let's see here. 32 children killed. Blah blah blah. Best band puppy in years. YouTube is broken. You know what's interesting about that? YouTube is broken is one of the reasons that I like this video, I should say, not YouTube is broken, but one of the reasons that I like Philip DeFranco, because, you know, unlike a lot of the other big, quote-unquote, big YouTubers, he'll actually call it out on YouTube. Yeah, and he's got some good advice. If there's any of his videos you should watch, I would watch that one. And it gave me a lot of respect for him, because YouTube doesn't like it when people get off the reservation and start talking smack about them. Truth be known, you know, YouTube is broken. So, all right, let's see here. Yeah, Kim Kardashian. Oh, here's the chick, the breastfeeding Time magazine chick. Now, listen. This one down here with the baby sucking on the titty of mama. Bottom line on that is that was the cover of Time magazine. Philip DeFranco doesn't own that, copyright-wise, but yet it's his thumbnail, and I'm sure he has that photo in it. But you know what? Here's the thing. If you watch the video, he talks about it, and it comes under fair use. Which, don't get me wrong, like I said, I'm not hating on Phil. Not hating on Phil at all. I think what Phil does is great. The truth of the matter, though, is that the YouTube does not apply the rules evenly. They just don't. Okay, Kate Upton is Yo Cat Daddy. You know what? All right, I'm going to end this real quick here, but I want to show you some Kate Upton, because I love... Listen, there's two types of women in my world. There's sports cars, that are small, slim, built for speed. And then there are the Cadillacs. You know, these are the ones, you know, like the Rolls Royce. It's like driving your couch down the road. Kate Upton comes under the Cadillac. And I'll tell you, every now and again, a chick like this shows up. And oh my God, I love it. It's just something else. Now, I'm going to end this with an actual clip of Philip DeFranco. But I will come back for just a little more commentary after it is over. So, enjoy.
There's really nothing sexier than a sexy and funny lady. And then, of course, there was Kate Upton. I've mentioned many a time that Kate Upton is not my favorite because she takes very good pictures, but because in video she bounces really nicely. And that's why I was so happy this morning when kinda creepy photographer Terry Richardson had Kate Upton, and he was like, I like these pictures and all, but do you want to show us the cat daddy? And then she showed us the cat daddy. Can't use the words in this song because I'll get pulled down for copyright violation. Main point, I like the cat daddy. And from there, let's talk.
Okay, now here's what's interesting about that, other than Kate Upton is just bad as hell. Oh, God, I love that girl. Here's what's interesting about that. That was Philip DeFranco kind of doing a little rappy thing in there, and he basically said, I can't use the words of the song because I get pulled down for copyright violation. Okay. So, I guess that's where they draw the line with Philip DeFranco. If you do music, you just can't have the words. You can use videos, you can use photography, anything you want. Just don't have any kind of lyrics that are being sang. I don't know. And I don't know. I mean, Philip, if by some bizarre chance you see this video, and I know it's not likely, or maybe one of your surrogates sees this video, because I know you're a big executive these days, you know. Now, and listen, I don't think Philip DeFranco takes himself that seriously. I don't think. I don't know him, though. But, Philip, if you do see this, or one of your surrogates sees this, chime in. Either PM me or send me a message in the comment section or whatever, and tell me what's up. I mean, how are you able to use all this copyrighted material and get away with it and be able to monetize your videos? I'm just very, very curious about that, because from what I can tell, YouTube is just full of douchebaggery, you know, and they're picking and choosing who they want to be able to do whatever. I know way too many people, and too many people have sent me messages complaining about this, and it's happened to me. You know, how do you get around it? Do you have a secret? If you do, will you share? You know? Anyway, listen, brother, keep up the good work. You do deserve your fame. Although, I think we all know, much like Renetto said many years ago, YouTube handpicked people that they want to put up on the top. And that's clearly what's happened with you. But I qualified that by saying you bring the goods. So, congratulations. By the way, this video, Kate Upton is Yo Cat Daddy. 3,564,443 monetized views. Awesome. Now he's taking that all the way to the bank. Alright, that's all I got for you guys. Hopefully, hopefully YouTube lets me keep this video up. I'll be very curious to see if that flies or not. It wouldn't shock me if it wouldn't shock me if you never get to see this video, or it wouldn't shock me if they yank it down. It wouldn't even shock me at all if they yanked my channel down, because YouTube doesn't like people talking out of school. They just don't. That's Google Big Brother. You know the do no evil mantra, which we all know is a crock of shit now. You can ask dissidents that are in prison, you know, but I don't know. We'll see. I don't really care. Beyond that, I've been on YouTube too long. I've made too many videos to care if what they do to me. I'm going to be real, and that's just it. So anyway, holy crap, this is almost a 20-minute long video, which you know I never do. At least not very often. All right, listen, everybody. Keeping it real. See ya.